PASCAL. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
I have a good friend of the show. It's been a long time since he's been on here. You might know him from Waverly Place, from The Ringer, from Galaxy Quest, and also The Mailman. I mean, amazing performance as the mailman in This Is Us, in that amazingly emotional scene in This Is Us with Sterling K. Brown. I have to bring on my friend. Please welcome Bill Chott to the show. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Good, Pascal. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. First off, I'm glad that you are safe. That,
so am I.
That the LA fires haven't really affected you, as if I understand, you're still in your home right now, correct?
Yeah, but that isn't to say they haven't affected me. I saw you were just listening to the press conference about the emergency alerts, and everybody here is under the understanding that we could need to evacuate at any moment. I'm in a somewhat safer area because there's not so much vegetation, but 2 nights ago there was a fire just like 3 city blocks from me. It was a house fire. They were able to contain it, but we weren't sure whether we were going to need to evacuate. We weren't sure at first whether that might have been an extension of the fire, whether other fires near us had been started.
Right.
And so, I was in several states of preparedness. Like right now, my truck is completely packed and ready to go, just in case. Yeah.
Oh.
And like I got one of those emergency alerts at 3:30 in the morning, and thought I had to evacuate. So a lot of people are upset about those evacuation alerts, but I do have to say this: at the very least, I would rather be getting them and not need them than need them and not get them. So yes, there is a problem with the emergency alert system, but at least it's working. At least it's getting the alerts out there, because it was 3:30 in the morning, and if I would have needed to evacuate, I'm glad that it sent the sort of signal instead of just like, oh, it's a text, because sometimes you're in do not disturb mode when you sleep or whatever. It's that full on alarm noise that you get when you have an Amber Alert. So
yeah, and see, that's the thing I'm kind of confused about, because something like that going off, right? Because I remember we talked and you were saying, like, in the middle of the night you received an evacuation notice, right?
Yeah.
And then you found out that was a false alarm. Then of course, again, it's been going on multiple times. So how many times did you actually get the alerts?
It's only happened to me twice, and then I got a total of 3 alerts, because one of them, the second time it happened, they sent out an alert that said that it was disregard the previous alert, and thank God they sent those out, because the first time it happened, it was 3:30 in the morning. I had spent the whole night packing just in case I needed to go. My feet hit the ground. I woke up, splashed some water on my face, and then I was like, I need to figure out where I'm evacuating to, because you never know whether all of a sudden a route that you thought was open, 30 minutes ago is no longer open.
Yeah.
Because one fire by the side of one highway can close down an entire highway route, and in some cases, one highway shutting down can shut down another highway. That's why people are asking me, why don't you evacuate? Why don't other people evacuate?
Exactly.
Right now, we don't want to evacuate until authorities have told us to evacuate, because there's already such horrible traffic in Los Angeles. And one extra person on that road can mean the difference between one person getting out and saving their lives, 5-10 miles from here. So what I did was I checked this app, and there's an app called Watch Duty. And if anybody has loved ones out in Los Angeles, or if anybody is in Los Angeles and hasn't heard of Watch Duty, I can't imagine anybody in LA who hasn't heard of Watch Duty. But it's an app, and it shows you exactly where all the active fires are, where the evacuation routes are, and where the shelters are.
Okay. So Watch Duty app for sure, guys. Go check that app out.
And it's a great place to donate to, because it's all on, it exists completely on a volunteer basis. So
No doubt, no doubt. So as far as that goes, I mean, how many other people do you know have been, have had their homes or their, their belongings ravished by this fire? Do you have any
Countless
people who have
people
been
that I
reaching
know,
out to you?
countless people. I keep on looking on Facebook, and almost everybody I know has either been in an almost evacuation situation like me, or has lost their home. And if you want to learn the true lesson of gratitude, you look on people's Facebook. And I saw one of my friends' houses today. They said, "Oh, we were so lucky that only a corner of the bedroom of our house was burned."
Mm,
And there was
yeah,
like a hole in their wall that you could
yeah,
see. So people are happy that they're just portions of their house are still around.
no doubt. How
And so
far
many
away?
people have lost their dream homes. They've lost, things that they
Yeah,
saved their whole lives. And, these aren't celebrities. These are
right.
people who are everyday working people who live here in Los Angeles. People are seeing the celebrities on the news because when they see the Palisades fire. Yeah, a lot of celebrities work there, but there's all the small business people and the merchants and the people who are first responders who live in that area who have been affected by this. So
Yeah,
um,
yeah. No,
it's just so widespread.
no, it's crazy because it's everybody from the richest of the rich to the people who are just getting by. Everybody who's poured every last cent of their life into their home now up in flames, and I'm concerned about how this is going to affect not only just Hollywood but also just Angelinos in general, just
Yeah.
Los Angeles in general. You know what I
And
mean?
as you know, we have a huge problem with people who are unhoused here, even before the pandemic. But now we have a situation where, these people cannot stay inside to keep themselves safe from the smoke. The smoke is horrific out there. I'm
Yeah.
thankful that I have, an indoor structure. There are people out there who do not have that blessing.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, so how far away are you from these fires right now?
Um, I am about well, I could look up on the Watch Duty app and give you an exact thing.
Okay.
Um, but I would say I'm about 10 to 15 miles away from any of the major fires.
Okay. Because like
Yeah.
the Hollywood Hills fires that were going on, I had a friend of mine who literally could step out of his condo and just look down the street and there were the fires. You know what I mean? When it was really prominent, right?
Yeah.
And of course I was like, hey man, pack up your stuff, get out of here, get out of there as quickly as you can. Be safe. I'd rather you be safe than sorry, right? um
Absolutely.
and so I keep wondering, like, for people like yourself, and other people that live maybe in your area, how close are they to the craziness of these fires, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that you are constantly getting these alerts every couple hours that aren't even real must be
Yeah.
terrifying.
It is. Well, we've only gotten 2 of them, so it's not like it's been that bad.
Okay.
But we there's several levels of alert because when you go on the Watch Duty app, which is not giving false alerts and is not giving extra alerts, but what that does is it breaks down an area and you can see whether they've ordered an evacuation order for that area, and they're like different code letters for each area. Kind of like, I don't know if anybody there remembers the old days when we had the Thomas guides, but it would have it broken off into different areas to be like L473 or whatever. Um, and then once they put an area to be evacuated into a zone, then they'll say there's a ready, a set, and a go phase. So they'll tell you to be ready. So in other words, you may want to start packing now if you haven't started packing. Most people that I know already have their go bags, already have the precious belongings that they're going to bring with them or what have you.
Hmm.
Um, and then the set, maybe sit in your car, put your key in the ignition, get ready, and then go hit the road and start following directions for what route is going to be safest for you.
Yeah, it's interesting because even so, you have a car full of stuff right now. Your car is packed,
Yeah.
ready to go, just in case things go down the way that you that may go down. And I'm curious, and somebody asked this, and this is a very good question. I'm glad that we had one of our viewers ask. Nicole B just asked, can you ask Bill the kind of items he packed to keep people informed? So what kind of stuff are you packing? I mean, are you just grabbing, like they said, are you just grabbing stuff out of your hamper, all dirty clothes and stuff, just all your dirty drawers, or are you actually like packing other essentials? What do you got in your car right now?
I packed only exactly what I needed to, which was the first thing that I grabbed was all of my important documents, my passport, driver's license, birth certificate, immunization records, stuff like that. That went into a bag. I have a crank radio that's also solar powered. So in case I need, if all power breaks down and I need communications. Can you see me? My signal froze for a second on the screen here.
Oh, we can see you. We got you.
Okay, good.
We got you.
So I had those important documents and stuff like that. I only packed like 3 or 4 pair of underwear, 3 or 4 shirts, 3 or 4 sweatshirts, a sleeping bag. Now, one thing that they say it's important to do. So this is just a tip for other people if they're in a situation like this, or if you have like a flood alert wherever you are, go and take your phone and do a video of all your belongings and all your house that you're leaving behind, so that you can prove to the insurance agency that, yes, I had this television set. Yes, I had this, collection of baseball cards or whatever. But, I'm leaving behind all the tapes, all my daughter's drawings, a lot of precious things that, that can't be replaced, but I don't need to survive. I just need to carry what I've got out of here in case of an emergency. So those clothes, toiletries, because if I get to a shelter and I don't want to have to wait if I need to brush my teeth or shave or something like that. So those toiletries are important. But all my precious memories, those are here on my phone and they're on the cloud. So I'm not worried about that. Just things for survival. Yeah. And then a bag full of fruit from and vegetables from my fridge, because you don't know what food situations are going to be there.
No kidding. I mean, and anything's possible, right? Anything. You might walk out there and not have a place to stay, not have a place to rest your head for the night and all that, or a place to even find food. So yeah, of course, if you guys got those granola bars and those Cheez-Its, okay?
You mentioned my favorite snack food, the Cheez-Its. The other thing that's important to do that people hopefully do anyway, but in an emergency like this, make sure you're gassed up. Make sure all your vehicles are gassed up, because you may be spending a lot of time in traffic, log jam traffic, that you don't want to be in the first place. But if you're burning fuel, just, sitting there in standstill traffic, that could be an issue too.
So is LA right now in your area? Because I understand like you were still working, right? Were you still working today or something? So is
no,
LA
well, what happened was, I had auditioned on, was it? No, it couldn't have been Monday. Maybe my callback was Monday. I'm crazy now. It's crazy the way my perception of time has been altered through all this. But I had an audition. I think, you know what? That would have been, I think it was Monday, when it was just a windstorm. Or, I knew there were fires out there, but it wasn't affecting me. So I had a call back, and I actually booked a commercial that is going to, knock wood, hopefully by next Thursday and Friday, it's going to shoot.
Wow.
But so work was going on. I think a lot of things have been canceled around town.
Okay.
For right now. But yeah. Things are still going on here. Life has to go on.
Yeah,
it's kind of scary.
No kidding. I guess I've been curious how LA, and businesses and all that, especially, now as the fires are still raging on, if life is going on, like business, work, that kind of thing, performances, gigs, auditions, all those kinds of things. If everything's just kind of going.
Well, I know my dry cleaner is still working, because I got
Yeah.
a text from my dry cleaner
Wow.
that said that a suit that I had was ready for pickup, and I was like, that's not my priority right now.
Yeah.
Don't know anybody who needs to wear a suit right now.
No kidding.
And a lot of other businesses that I've received texts from. A lot of the restaurants are still staying open. Some of them are giving out free meals to people.
Yeah.
Free ready to go meals for some people who need it.
Man, well, that's always good to hear, right? Because obviously everyone's trying to get away from the fires. It doesn't mean that they're leaving Los Angeles. They're just trying to get as far away from the actual fires as they can. And
Yeah.
sometimes it could just be down the hill, right? Down the street,
Yeah.
just a few miles. So have anybody reached out to you to see if they can find refuge at your place or anything of that sort?
No, I've had several offers of people who said that they could come and stay at their place.
Oh, that's good.
Fortunately, I've been safe enough. No, obviously, I have room here if anybody needed it. I have my daughter's room. She uses it on the weekends. During the week, it's totally open. So if I did have a friend, they would have a place to stay, and I have a couch. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's very generous of you. And, we always know that you've got
and if you're
always
an
had a
actor
big
in
heart.
LA, you usually have a friend sleeping on the couch anyhow.
Yeah, that's very LA, Hollywood actor-esque for
Yeah.
sure. But Bill, I want to say, good luck with everything out there.
Thank you.
Stay safe, keep your head on a swivel, because I know that there's been a lot of looting out here and a lot of crimes going on. Have you seen anything wild in your area, or has it just been
No.
out where the fires are?
I think that's been out where the fires are. And I think you probably heard too that some residents caught one of the arsons.
Yes.
It was a guy with a blowtorch. They tackled him and they threw some zip ties on him.
Here's an interesting update about that.
Yeah.
The person who was arrested, in suspicion of arson, is not charged because of lack of probable cause.
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't even been charged for this thing yet. He was he was standing there allegedly with an actual blowtorch.
Yeah.
So he's not charged right now.
I thought the same thing when I heard that they had caught him, because first of all, any like citizens arrest sort of a thing, you have to question whether that's going to hold up in a court of law and
Right.
how constitutional it was. But you have to prove that was his intent. There's no way to prove that he started the other fires. But they're
I think everybody's
what
I've
I've heard from people who've lived here their
real.
entire lives is the patterns of these fires does not line up with how fires usually build and grow out here, because usually one will start and then there'll be a containment effort, and then maybe another will spread over here, and then all of a sudden they'll work on that. But it's been upright, left,
It's been sporadic.
down. Yeah.
It's been absolutely sporadic. So just out of curiosity, and I'm not sitting here saying like put on the tinfoil hat and tell me it's Ancient Aliens or anything, but I am kind of curious as to what your thoughts on the start of this fire, like what started this fire, and do you think that all of this has to do with some sort of arson?
I don't think it's all arson. I think some of it could be.
Okay.
And also, almost every time a fire breaks out here, there's the possibility of a copycat. People who are pyromaniacs see a fire and go, "Oh, there's fire happening, so there's cover for it." Oh, or at the very least, they want to go out and watch it and see things burn. And while they're at it, they may start another fire. But most of these fires start because of the winds. We had really bad winds out here, and that was really the genesis of it. I was that audition I was talking about couldn't have been Monday, because I woke up Monday morning with the branches of the trees outside my bedroom window tapping the window, because
Absolutely.
the winds were forcing them that strongly.
Oh yeah.
So and every time the winds start up out here is a time to be prepared for fires in Los Angeles. But the winds will kick up a lot of things. A campfire maybe could be left out, and a lot of times a wire will be downed and sparks from the wire is hit. And then, of course, we've been incredibly dry. people talk about the climate change, and especially this past year has been so dry out here, even though we had amazing rains, torrential rains last year. There has been no rain during the rainy season this year. So I think people were expecting some fires to happen this year, but nothing like this.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty insane. I've never seen anything like this before in my life. This is definitely a moment in history for sure.
Yeah,
It's unforgettable, but I'm also hoping that Angelinos band together and they
that's
rebuild
exactly what's happening.
into something better, right? From the ashes rise something stronger, and I'm hoping that's exactly what happens. And I'm hoping people are able to rebuild. They have the insurance to cover whatever needs to be covered, and in a few years' time, everything will be back to normal, just better and cleaner, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there'll ever be a normal in terms of Los
Los
Angeles,
Angeles, yeah.
but at least there'll be
Yeah.
hopefully more helpful systems in place. But what has been really, really heartwarming is the ways that the community has come together to help other people. Like I've posted on my Facebook wall different ways that people can get some aid. My one of my former roommates, Erica, um, compiled a whole list of agencies and organizations that have come out to help. My church, which is about 3 miles away from here, opened up themselves for people to come and charge, because a lot of people in my neighborhood are out of power. They've been without power for almost 72 hours.
Mm.
I have been fortunate that I didn't have a loss of power. The last time we had major storms out here, I lost power for about 2 days. Fortunately, this time I did not. But for all those people, they were able to go there. Some local restaurants, like I said, have offered free meals. It's been really amazing, and I always knew this about Los Angeles. It's a city with a lot of heart. It's the people that move here who are a little bit flaky, but
Yeah.
the people who've grown up and lived in the Los Angeles area are so kind and so community minded that I've never felt in jeopardy, even though there's these dangerous fires nearby. I know that there'll be some place to go, and I know there are people taking care of people.
Absolutely. One last question for you before I know you got
Yep.
things to do, and I appreciate you being here.
Mhm.
And I'm glad you and yours are safe. And that's one of the most things that matter the most, right? But
Yep.
I'm curious about what your thoughts are on how the government, how your elected officials have been handling this situation. Do you think they've been doing, they've been doing a wonderful job, or do you think that there's been a lack of accountability,
I think there's
lack of
been an
preparedness?
amazing response. I think there's some people who have some um, not so updated information. There were
Mm,
people saying that Karen Bass had cut the fire department budget. That wasn't entirely true. She was working on renegotiating for 50 million more for firefighting efforts. I don't think any leader in their right mind would be like, well, looks like we'll never have any fires in Los Angeles. And most importantly, now's not the time to criticize. Now's the time to deal with what we've got to help save lives, to help prevent future fires, to help future traffic jams and things that
mm.
could hurt with the rescue efforts. But now isn't the time to criticize. So I'm not going to be one of those critical voices. There'll be plenty of time to second guess, but certain authorities about to take office here who are mouthing off about California, who don't know anything about science, can certainly take a break from that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see your point there. And I guess only time will tell
Yeah,
when new people come into office, and of course, we'll see what they do, and of course, we
yeah,
got to see what government, your elected officials do over here as well. And it seems like they're going hard in the paint right now. All I can hope is they're able to stop these fires from getting into your areas or spreading
yep,
even further, and just being and just getting people safe, right? And being able to rebuild quickly so that there's not hundreds of thousands of people without homes, because that's a lot of people without a place to stay. And that's a terrifying thing. But Bill, again, thank you so much for coming on here. It really means a lot. It's been a minute. We got to get you on the show just to chop it up about your career, everything that you've been doing as of late, because, we haven't talked since, well, it's been years. Okay.
It has been.
It's been
All right,
a
we'll
long
catch up
time.
soon.
Yeah, man. Okay. You stay blessed. God bless you.
You too. Bless you
All
too.
PASCAL. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.